the same time. Turning just a little bit of a twist. And this is just an opportunity to really pay attention to different parts of the back where you might feel that you're a little congested, a little tight, or not. Just getting a sense of how your body is today so that you can work with it, not against it. And letting your hips move from side to side. Just sort of leaning down, letting your arms move down the side of the body. Then coming to stillness, and now moving the head sort of from side to side, looking over one shoulder and then the other. And just going slowly. Don't go as far as you possibly can. These little bones and muscles in the neck don't take very kindly to that. Coming back to neutral. And then letting one ear come down toward one shoulder. And then the other side. And let your shoulders relax. So you're not trying to bring your shoulder up to the knee, to the ear so much as bringing the ear down to the shoulder. And then pausing, twisted to one side, and then turning your gaze toward the floor. Pausing here, and then turning your gaze toward the ceiling. Coming back to center, going the other direction. Ear toward the shoulder, shoulder relaxed. Turning the gaze toward the floor. Back up toward the ceiling. Coming back to center. And just looking up and down a couple of times. And then circling the head. Let your knees be soft here. There's a lot of this movement you're likely to feel even down the back. Although once again, don't go as far as you can, just getting the circle motion, getting a sense of how your neck is today. And now moving the shoulders, shoulder circles back, one shoulder and then the other. And just sort of lean into this, exaggerating this move a little bit to feel the movement in the shoulders themselves, going the other direction. So the collarbone and the shoulder blades. But you also feel this stretching in the side of the body. Coming to stillness. And now both shoulders at the same time. Back shoulder rolls. This really isolates the movement to the shoulder itself, not the rest of the rib cage. And then forward. Great. And then moving your arms, sort of a hokey pokey, flapping your arms around, flapping your hands around. This is really a great thing to do, especially if you spend a fair amount of time during the day typing or doing other little movements with your fingers. And making big hands and fists. And then circles with the fists in one direction and then the other. And then a little bit bigger. Doing the movement in the elbows and the shoulders as well. And then coming to stillness. And now big circles with the hips. And just let your shoulders move naturally, and they'll move in the opposite direction of the hips, just to help with the balance going in the other way. And again, always letting your knees be soft. That'll take up some of the movement here, especially if the low back tends to be a little tight. We can challenge or channel a lot of the movement into our legs. All right, coming to stillness, lifting one heel and pressing the weight down into the toes on that foot. And kind of rolling the foot a little bit from side to side so that you can feel the little toe and big toe, maybe a little bit the toes in the middle. Sometimes those aren't as easy to isolate the sensations in, but just feeling the toes, the balls of the feet, stretching those joints, and now circling that foot. Now you're going to feel a lot of that movement in the ankle, going in one direction and then the other. This is so important for balancing. Coming to stillness, and before we do the other foot, just see if you can feel into your feet, feeling the difference between one and the other. Sometimes it's hard to feel some parts of the body. But if we've just done something with one and it's different, it's easier to identify them. Now lifting the other heel, pressing down into the toes, rolling the foot from the big toe to the little toe. And then circling that foot at the ankle. So in one direction and then the other. And coming to stillness, now bending the knees, maybe putting your hands on the knees and then circling the knees. And the knees don't actually move like that. So you're still going to be feeling most of this movement in the ankles and the hips going in the other direction. All right, great. Coming back to standing, bringing the arms up to about shoulder height, or have your hands on top of the shoulders. Just see how, whichever is easier for your shoulders. And from here, stretch out as if you're trying to touch the wall on one side and then the other. So most of this stretching is going to be in the arms themselves, but also in the torso, a little bit in the hips. And now bringing the hands overhead, reaching for the ceiling while you let your shoulders relax away from the ears. So the shoulders are relaxing down, the hands are reaching up, and then one hand and then the other. And if you'd like, lifting the heel of the opposite foot from the hand that you're stretching up, and just really feeling the stretch through the body. And again, it gives you a sense of, how's your body doing today? You know, what parts might be tight, letting your hands come down to about a 45-degree angle from the floor, palms back, and just pulsing your hands back. And you can feel this gently pulling the shoulder blades together, opening the chest. Great. And a couple of shoulder rolls, and back and forth, or back and forward, just to loosen that up. I do those shoulder rolls throughout the class because they get a little bit tight. Now taking a seated posture. And here we're going to sort of wake up the belly, engage the stomach muscles. So pulling the belly button back. And you can do this standing or sitting. Just pulling the belly button back, and you can feel that band of muscles all the way around the lower belly, including the low back. Now let go, letting those muscles relax. They're not going to come back to being completely relaxed, and that's okay. We don't really want them to. Pulling the belly button back. Lay back as hard as you can. This is something that you can do in bed before you even get out of bed, especially if you tend to have low back pain early in the morning. Just doing this a few repetitions, holding the belly button back for 5 seconds or so, and then relaxing. Just to engage these stabilizing muscles. Go a little bit. And once again. And the belly button back. And now with your hands on top of your legs, we'll do an isometric exercise where you're going to be trying to push your shoulders toward your legs at the same time that you're pushing them away. So you're going to feel the stomach muscles engage. These are the muscles in the front of the belly. And you're going to feel the shoulders engage. Letting your gaze be sort of toward the floor, neutral gaze. And just pushing your shoulders down and pushing them back. And now relax. Straighten up a little bit. And then once again, pushing the shoulders down, pushing them back. Breathe. And feel those muscles engage. This is one of the most important things that we can do is to keep the core stabilized. Sitting up, letting the muscles go. Maybe even feeling the warmth coming back into the muscles as they relax a little bit. Now put one hand on the opposite leg. And we're going to do the same thing, but at an angle. So bringing one shoulder down toward that hand while pushing it away. And trying to let the rest of your muscles be pretty relaxed. Let your face be relaxed. Let the other arm be relaxed. Really isolating the stomach muscles and the shoulder muscles. This is going to be working the obliques. So you'll feel this on the side of the rib cage, side of the belly. And relax. Slightly different part of the shoulder. And once again. Shoulder down. Pushing it away, breathing, smiling, relaxing all the other muscles. Back up. Breath. Other side. Pushing the shoulder down, pushing the shoulder back. Again, letting your gaze be neutral. So it's maybe sort of toward on the floor, maybe to the side of but that you are pushing your shoulder toward. Pushing the shoulder down, pushing the shoulder back, and relaxing. Breath. Once again. Pushing. Breathing. All right. Taking a breath. Now, one more set of isometric exercises, bringing your hands together in front of the chest and pressing your hands So let your shoulders be relaxed again, away from the ears. Press your hands tightly together. Feel the shoulders and the chest engaging. And now turn your palms facing together. Hook your fingers together and now pull. And now pull your hands apart. Pull as much as you can. So here we're strengthening the shoulder muscles because we also want these to be engaged as we work out as a way to keep the shoulders safe. Relax, let them go. Once again, push the hands together. Breathe, let the shoulders relax. And now pull the hands apart. And then it's coming to stillness. And feeling the body now, feeling the, the stomach should feel like it's awakened. The shoulders coming to standing. And now taking a wide stance with your feet parallel and just bending one knee and then the other, keeping the back upright. I'm doing this slowly. You're going to feel the muscles in the legs engage. And again, if you want to burn more calories, you can go ahead and do this fast. But here we're just engaging the muscles. That's what I'm doing, engaging the muscles. I find sometimes, especially in the beginning of a workout, if I go too fast, I may also go a little bit farther than my muscles are ready to. Coming to stillness, bending forward, hinging until your back is about parallel with the floor. And just let your hands and your head hang here. Just for a few seconds. And then bending your knees, hands on your legs, slowly rounding up. This is another great exercise to do during the class if your shoulders begin to hurt. Stepping together. And just feeling how the body is now. And so just lifting your knees, one knee and then the other. Hands up. And then bring down the opposite elbow of the knee that you're lifting. Pull in your stomach. And do this at a pace that's comfortable for you. So we're working here with strengthening, with balancing. All right, coming to stillness. Feeling this in the body. I'm going to use the chair coming back to sit in the chair, sitting close to the front of the chair. And then leaning back. And this posture all by itself really helps to strengthen the abdominal muscles. But here, maybe having one weight if you'd like. One weight at home, as Jessie often says. And then we're just going to turn from side to side. And then extend the hands. And let your gaze sort of follow your shoulders. Or follow your hands or the weight. So you're not looking at the weight, but your gaze is going the same way. You don't have to look at me because I'm not changing anything. Leaning back, turn to the right, the left, and extending the arms. And coming to stillness here. And then either putting that weight down or grabbing another one, whichever you'd prefer. And now I'm going to do a sumo squat. So I've got my feet a little bit farther apart, sort of a 2 and 4 with the weights up, stand, and then reach out side to side and sit. And again, go with whatever pace you're comfortable with. I like to go slowly because I can really feel the muscles in my legs engaging. Because I can make sure that I'm coming down onto the chair. If I go too fast and I'm trying to talk at the same time, there's a high likelihood I'm going to miss the chair. I have trouble sometimes with single tasking, forget multitasking. All right, coming to standing. And then we're going to do some planks. And so using a wall, a couch, a chair, the back of the chair, the seat of the chair, just see how your body feels. And the starting position will be up on the toes, the body straight, the belly pulled in, the gluteal muscles engaged, hands under the elbows. Now, for some people, this doesn't work too well, and you can keep your feet flat. It's okay. So just do what your body would dictate as the safest thing to do. So here we're just holding this plank and feeling the body engage. This is using all the muscles. And then bending one knee, flexing the foot, and then we'll bring the foot behind us and then to the side. So this donkey kick and fire hydrant. And just really feeling the muscles in the legs, movement in the hips, the muscles in the shoulders, keeping the shoulders engaged, the belly engaged, putting that foot down and doing the other side. And letting the gaze be toward the chair and just a neutral gaze. I'm not going to be doing any moves that we haven't done. Okay, letting that foot come down and staying here and then moving one foot and then the other to the side. You can touch the floor or you can pick that foot up. So just see what works for you. Keeping the core engaged, keeping the core as still as possible, not moving your hips too much. And then walking in, moving the arms. I like to do this pulsing back of the hands here to sort of open the chest a little bit. And then coming back into this plank position. And from here, we'll do these pullbacks, one hand and then the other. So pulling the hand back and then doing a curl. And you pull the hand back. Your palm is facing your body. When you curl, the palm is facing forward. And coming back into this plank posture. Once again, sort of getting situated in that. And now we're just bringing knees up to the side of your hands. Now bringing the knees to the opposite hand. So here the knees are going to be crossing the midline. And coming to stillness, walking it in. Again, sort of pulsing the hands back. And just taking this opportunity to get a drink. Take a couple of breaths. Okay. And once again, I'm going to use weights. Do whatever you want to do. This first move that we'll do is like a curtsy step. So one foot comes behind the other, and just a little bend in both legs. And again, adjust this as seems fit. And now with one step, bring the hands up in a curl with palms facing forward. With the next step, bring the hands back in an extension. When you extend, palms facing back, and you curl, palms facing forward. Your belly tucked in, keep your gaze ahead, keep your back long. Smile, breathe. Okay, great. Coming to stillness, and now we'll do our lunge complex. So a step forward, bending the knee. Step to the side, bending the knee. Step back, bending the knee. And if you want, you can use the weights or not. And letting your hands move in the same direction as the moving leg. So hands coming forward, to the side and back. And again, I do these kind of slowly because it's really beneficial for balancing. And that's something that I like to work with. If you're doing this and you find that your shoulders are moving up towards your ears, then see if you can relax the shoulders, or you may want to put the weights down. You're better off without weights than if you're using weights, but it interferes with the form of the exercise. All right, very good. Well, taking a seat again, Once again, sitting toward the front of the chair, leaning back. And you can put your hands on the side of the chair if you want for balance. I sometimes keep the hands on the side of the chair. Sometimes I'll put the hands underneath my legs, but here, bring your knee up, extending your foot, bringing your knee up, extending your foot. Now you can do this just like this, one foot and then the other. Or you can do both feet. Breathing, keep breathing, smiling. Or you can do a couple of times where your feet don't come to the floor. To see what feels okay with you. Now this is using the abs. You also want to make sure you're pulling your belly button back, especially if you're not putting your feet down, because that's a great way to protect the low back. Into stillness and extending your legs and just kind of moving them. All right. Then we're coming back into this wide stance for this sumo squat. Actually, not real wide, because we're going to stand up and then do a side crunch. Sit down, stand up, side crunch. You can leave your arms up or bring them down. But with the side crunch, we're bringing our knee up to the side of the body as much as we can and bringing the elbow down. We're not bending our torso. We're not trying to bend the elbow to the knee. All right. Taking a couple of breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth. All right. You don't want the heart rate to come down too much. So again, we're doing the high knees and bring the opposite elbow down. Now that we're warmed up, you might want to go a little bit faster, or you may not, it's up to you. Keeping your shoulders as relaxed as possible here. All right, coming to stillness. And breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just sit down again, do a little stretching here. So just extending one foot in front of you, toes up, and lean toward that leg, the straight leg. So you're not trying to fold over the leg, just lean until you feel the stretch in the back of the leg. Maybe move your toes from side to side, back off, and then come down again, just to feel that stretching. And change feet. Again, just stretch or lean a little bit until you can feel that the back of the leg stretching out, toes toward the ceiling. Move your feet from side to side. Back off. And then once again, coming forward. Sitting up. And now bringing one arm in front of you. Holding on either above or below the elbow. And just gently pulling the arm toward the chest, moving your hands around a little bit. The other arm. Slightly pulling the arm toward you, slightly, slight pull. Moving the hand. All right, coming to standing. Now, we're going to bring the knee up and bring the opposite elbow in the general direction and try to bring that knee past the midline. So, and there's just a slight twist as we bring the elbow into the same general space. We're not necessarily trying to touch them. And now, doing straight leg, so the opposite hand sort of moving toward that foot, and the straight leg is going straight in front of you, not crossing the midline. And this, the fun part, knee, toe, knee, toe. So the knee comes at an angle, the foot goes straight. And if this is hard with balancing, you can use a chair next to you on one side and then the other, and then just do one side and then the other. Here I'm alternating. Because I'm putting my foot down at the end of each move, it's an opportunity to sort of recalibrate, get my balance, a little push off. And coming to stillness, and just sort of moving the feet, moving the hips from side to side. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. I'm going to get one weight. This is an exercise that we often do with Jess, sort of like the golf swing. So you're going to take a wide stance, both feet going forward, holding the weight in one hand, bending one knee, and bringing that weight down toward the inside area of the ankle, and then straightening that knee and bringing the hand up at an angle. So again, it's sort of like a golf swing. Breathing in on the easy part and the down part, and out as you bring the weight up. Breathing out with the effort. And you can just feel all of these muscles, the muscles in the legs, the arms, the entire torso, as you lift the weight up Maybe even a slight arch in the body, coming back to neutral. Coming to center. And then bending the other leg, bringing the weight down. And then bringing it up at an angle. Breathing in as you move down. And breathing out as you bring the weight up. And your gaze is following the weight. Right. Walking the feet back together. Bring that weight down. And bringing the arms, the hands toward the ceiling. Slight arch in the back. Soft knees. And then just a gentle twist here. Hands down toward the floor, palms back. And pulsing the hands back. The arms in front. And doing butt kickers and trying to sort of kick the opposite cheek. So again, where our feet are crossing the midline. And then pulling the elbows back. And doing this as quickly or slowly as feels right for you. And coming to stillness. Once again, up with these isometric exercises, pressing the hands together. Letting the shoulders relax down away from the ears. And then pulling the hands apart. Back long, neck long. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So an opportunity to let the breathing come back once again, pressing. And still engaging the shoulder muscles. Let the shoulders relax away from the ears. Pulling. All right, great. Soft knees. Gentle twisting from side to side. And then coming back to the chair. Sitting toward the front of the chair. Leaning back, but not against the chair. And we're just pausing here, feeling the belly engaged. Letting the shoulders be relaxed, letting your face be relaxed. And now doing a bicycle. So again, it may be 1 foot. You just like pushing the foot out and bringing it back down, or bringing both feet up. And doing this, maybe do with both feet up for a couple of seconds, then put the feet down. Gonna really challenge your brain. Now go in the other way. I find, at least for my brain, this is a little bit challenging. And coming to stillness. Give a couple of breaths. Feeling these muscles relax a little bit, but not too much, and then leaning back. And once again, doing a little bicycle action. And then coming back to stillness. And then from here, lifting the arms up to shoulder height. And again, just stretching from side to side. And then bringing both arms down, putting one arm on the back of the chair. And you can do this on a wall as well, but then one arm behind you and sort of leaning away from that. So I am doing this at an angle. I have my right arm on the chair and I'm leaning to the left. So just stretching these muscles, especially in the front of the shoulder and front of the upper arms, the biceps. And the other side. And back, leaning it away from that. That's great. And now putting one knee over the other. And just slightly turning here. So I put the opposite arm of the top knee over that knee. And with the other hand behind me on the chair, just to support a little bit of a twist. So I'm not twisting farther than I can, not twisting into uncomfortable territory, but I'm just using the hand on the chair to give me a little bit of leverage, looking over that shoulder, even letting my gaze go to the far side of the eye socket. So I'm turning my body, my head, my eyes, breathing here. And then coming back to center. In the other direction. And again, just using a little support. Your hands to breathe into this, to twist into this. Letting your face be relaxed, letting your breath be slowing down here. Coming back to center, coming back to standing. And we'll do our yoga flow. So hands on the back of the chair. Maybe stepping back a little farther than we might if we were going into a plank, and just letting the hips come back. Letting the head and the back come down toward the floor, maybe parallel to the floor. Straightening one leg and then the other. And just bending down a little bit with this, feeling this gentle stretch in the low back. Coming back with both legs straight, slowly straightening up. And letting the body come forward, letting the hips come forward and the gaze go up. Pausing here. If you'd like, pressing your heels toward the floor. Once again, getting a stretch in the muscles in the back of the legs. Coming back, straightening the back, letting the hips go back, letting the head and the back come down, and really pressing your hands into the back of the chair. Pressing your hands down. Continuing to press your hands down as you straighten up. Walking back toward the chair, continuing to press the hands down as a way to really help to relax the shoulders. Coming back to this standing posture that we started in. Bringing your shoulders up and back. Tucking your tailbone under a little bit. Long back, long neck, tuck the chin in. And just notice how it feels. Notice how you feel now inside. The areas that are warm, areas that feel more relaxed, areas that are still moving perhaps with the breath or the heart rate. If either of those feel a little bit quick, that's perfectly normal. Continue to breathe in as slowly as possible, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Thank you for joining today, and come on back.